Budget hearings unlike any other underway right now in the city of Cleveland as the city council and the mayor's office try to fund city services in the middle of this pandemic recession.
News 5's Jordan Vandenberg goes in depth to break down the billion-dollar budget and how the city says it has weathered this storm.
The budget is the city's lifeblood, pumping funding to everything from public safety to parks, and it's time to put it all together on Zoom.
This is the best we can do, and I'm glad that we had this opportunity. So we are beginning the 2021 budget hearings.
The $1.8 billion budget,
billion would it be,
proposed by Mayor Frank Jackson, highlights the challenges and revenue shortfalls brought on by the pandemic.
Things were going in the right direction, and then 2020 hit.
And it marks the first time since voters approved the income tax in 2016 that the budget isn't structurally balanced, meaning revenues don't cover expenses.
Indians, the Browns, the Cavaliers, concerts, conventions. And when you have those kind of things, then the revenues received from that in terms of admission tax, parking tax, bed taxes, all those type of revenues that are generated by the hospitality industry, we pretty much lost.
At the start of each budget year, the city has a carryover balance, which is a year-end reserve.
In the mayor's proposed budget, city leaders projected about $23 million more in expenses than revenue in 2021. But through a conservative approach to the budgeting process, there will be no layoffs and no reduction in services, thanks to the $40 million the city has at its disposal in the carryover balances.
That cushion, the mayor says, will keep the city going.
We were able to minimize the impact of the economic downturn. It still hit us, but we were able to minimize it to the point that we were, our services were not substantially impacted.
Just highlight how bad things could have been if we hadn't budgeted in a certain way leading into 2020.
Despite the pandemic, the city expects to hire 180 new police officers, 100 firefighters, and 40 cadets for Cleveland EMS. However, of particular concern in 2021 is Hopkins, which is primarily funded through user fees. Total passengers last year dropped 57% compared to 2019.
They're recovering and they're maintaining, but we had to pay attention to them because they're so closely tied to this economy.
The budget is far from final, as it's put together on Zoom. And while there are still challenges, city leaders say it could be worse. In Cleveland, Jordan Vandenberg, News 5.
Now, hearings will continue for the next couple of weeks. And remember, Cleveland has to finalize that budget by April 1st.